Sir, please describe your career journey.
It's a long journey. When I finished my MBA exams, I joined one of the company over here, Margadarsi Chit Funds. So I was working with that company as a business development executive. Of course, it was running, but one of my close friend, Saifullah Parvez, he was working in Dubai at that time. So he suggested me to come over there so that I can have a good job and good earnings over there. So he sent me the visa. I went over there and I was searching for a job. Even one of my uncle, my father's brother, was also there in Sharjah. He recommended to one of the company, IT company, because I was certified in some MCSC certifications and all those things. So he recommended that company. So I went for the interview and I cleared the interview. Alhamdulillah, within 1 week I got a job with that company called Pharonics. I was working with that company as a customer support executive in IT. So working for the Sharjah pipeline gas and other companies, support given to other IT companies, major companies. At that time, they tried to get the visa for me, permanent visa, but with that company, one person already left, so that visa was pending. So that due to some reasons, until they cleared that, the human resource of Sharjah couldn't issue one more visa. So then he suggested me to go back and come again on the visit visa again. Then I came back over here, and also he requested me to do some CCNA course and some Visual Basic Programming courses, so that I can do some projects on over there in Sharjah. As per his suggestion, as per my boss' suggestion, I came over here and I joined CCNA course in Zoom Technologies and VB course in Orbit at Liberty in Hyderabad. So I finished all those courses and I got one more visa again, and I went over there and I was working with that company. Worked for a few projects like Pakistan UBL Bank, created some web pages and also worked on Cisco. And ultimately, again the same issue happened. I didn't get the visa, permanent visa, so I came back over here. So then ultimately I told my boss, sir, it's not feasible for me for coming back frequently for every 3 months. So better I will see the job in Hyderabad itself. So I decided. So ultimately my father decided to get me married. So within 1 week I got married. Then one of my friend again, as a, I forget his name, is Iftekhar, I don't know exactly, I didn't remember. He was working with Zoom Technologies as a faculty. He met me in my apartment. Then he suggested me, why don't you try in Zoom Technologies as a support, because you already worked over there in Sharjah support, because they are having some lease line projects. So then I went and approached Zoom Technologies. They told me that fine, no issues, but one condition is that if you are working with as a support engineer, you have to take few classes as well. But if you are ready for that, we are having a vacancy. Then they give me one topic, OSI layers, told me to get prepared. Then I went over there for a demonstration. Mr. Noble, of the head of the company, the owner of the company, he called me in his office and took the demonstration. Fine, well and good. He get up from the chair and came near me and put his hand on my shoulders, and he told, sir, you can manage with the lecture, but only thing is you have to maintain some pace, otherwise it would be like, because 45 minutes of class you have taken in 10 minutes only. He said, fine, you can manage, you can do it. If you sit for a few classes in that class while you are free, while you are not on the support, you can manage with that. Noble was a kind person, he is very helpful, so he appointed me as a support engineer. Plus I have to take some classes for Cisco CCNA. So one fine day my senior told me that he is not going to come tomorrow, So I have to take the novel network class. So I was surprised. So then he said, what is the point of surprise? You've been sitting in the classes for a few days, so no need of surprise. So then I came evening, and the whole night I prepared uh, for the class, and the other day I came and went over there and gave the class. So all of the staff got surprised, and even the students thought that I am a novel network engineer, whereas I didn't even see the novel network interface. But class gone well. Then at that time I realized that I have the passion to train. I can train. I love that training. So earlier also, before I joining Margadarshi, I joined Tata Cellular as a marketing executive. So in that one trainer was there who gave the training in Krishna Oberoi Hotel for 1 week. So from that time also I got inspired with the trainer. So there was something at the back of my mind, but it didn't click. But when I took this novel network class, I felt that yeah, I can do training. I love it. So while I was working over here, then one of my close friend, Mr. Inad Khan, he was working in Saudi Arabia. He told, sir, you are working so hard over there. If you spend the same amount over here in Gulf, at least you will get. Then my father-in-law also suggested the same idea. So I went to Saudi Arabia. So he arranged the visa. I went over there, and Alhamdulillah, with his reference over there, I got in Daraliyat Consultants, and then I've been placed in Siemens as a contract on a contract basis as a senior network engineer. I was working with Information and Communications Division, Siemens Riyadh. So I was working on the project, the STC project. It was a 1 year span, connecting all the interfaces of all kingdom, complete kingdom network, STC network connecting to each other. So 1 year passed, then the project finished. Then I have been placed in Wipro as well. Then again the Sabic for a few months. Then the recession came, and most of the people lost the job, and even one by one. Ultimately, I also got the termination letter from my company. So then I decided, let's go back to India, because I didn't feel like working further. So with my family, I came back to India in, I think, around February 2005. I didn't remember the dates exactly. Then I started hunting over here. Then one fine evening, I got one call from Ericsson. So they asked me about my profile. I think they might have seen on LinkedIn or something like that. They took the interview. Finally, they asked me about PMP certification. I said, can you please repeat what exactly you are asking? I said PMP. Then I said, I don't have PMP certification. Sir, I'm sorry, because at this level, our company policy is that because you have been working, you have a good amount of experience as a technical background, you have to lead the team and you have to execute the projects. And based on our company policy, we need to have PMP certification. So I'm sorry for that. I'm really sorry. I said, so no issues, because this is mandatory. So ultimately, I looked into the PMP certification. I Google searched, and then I felt that it's not my cup of tea, because one thing is that the fees part, because I already out of the job. So I decided not to go for the PMP certification at that time. Then one gentleman over here, he met me. Then he said that instead of going for a job, we will establish an institute, training institute. Fine, we got the idea, and again, one of my friend, the same friend, Mr. Inad Khan, he gave some funds to establish the institute, and we established. We were running, but it didn't went successfully. Of course, because students were coming. Everyone was enjoying the course. Everything was fine, but we were not having enough funds to market. And ultimately, I decided to close it down. We closed it. And meanwhile, I got a call from Lebanon, Unifil, a contractor from Mumbai, who used to do human resource to United Nations. He said, sir, we have an assignment over there in Lebanon as a network engineer. Are you interested? I said, fine. So he told the UN people will call you and they will take the interview. If you succeed, you can proceed. So they called on fine. I got a call from USA. They took the interview and they are satisfied and I got appointed. So then I went to Lebanon, worked as a network engineer, but I was not satisfied over there because of the environment. I don't know a lot the working environment and all those things, because I felt something different because nobody. So finally I decided to go back. So at that time, one of my friends suggested, Mr. Idris, working in Saudi Arabia, he suggested me to do PMP certification. Oh, again he's once Ericsson lady told me about certification. Now he is suggesting, he recommended, when you are coming to Saudi Arabia, at least you do the course and come over here. You can write the exam over here at least. Then okay, fine, I decided fine, because at that time I was working in Lebanon, I have some funds, so I came back to Hyderabad. Meanwhile, my friend Inayat Khan sent me the visa. So I did this, the course. Mr. Mohit Mathur was my faculty, PMP faculty. And because I have been in technical side, I was not on the project management side. So he observed that and he said that, sir, he told me like this, Maulana, आप जल्दी मत करिए exam लिखने के लिए. So he told me in Hindi, of course. So you take some time and write the exam. Don't speed up for the exam. I said, okay, fine. So meanwhile, again, Mr. Inayat Khan arranged one interview in Siemens Oil and Gas Division. So I got an interview from project manager from Siemens Oil and Gas, Mr. Mohammed Ahmed. He called me for an interview on call. So I got selected in the interview as a project coordinator for Siemens Oil and Gas Division. Then I flown to Saudi Arabia and joined as project coordinator in Siemens. So I didn't get time. I was working on the East-West pipeline project in Siemens. So I didn't get time to write the exam. So I was very busy with the project. So 1 year I was very busy. Then ultimately the project has come to an end and I got some time. So I thought, let me prepare for the PMP exam. Then I gave the exam with normal preparation. So I failed the exam. Then again I went to, I have been posted on Jeddah for another project from Siemens itself. Then over there I got some time because it was the initial stage of the project. Again I prepared for the PMP and again I wrote the exam, I got passed. Then again the project was finished. Then I thought to come back. So I came back over here. Then again I was now out of the job. Then I started hunting for a training job. One ADAPT Institute was there over here, and also PMI chapter. They also gave me the chance to teach PMP. I took one of the cost management, but it was a failure. I couldn't teach properly the cost management, so I learned a lesson with that. Again, I got an opportunity with ADAPT. Then I took one batch of PMP over there. So I was building my foot in training. Then at the same time, my brother Athar Salim, who was working in Bahrain, he told me that there is an opportunity over here. We will provide you our company will provide the visit visa to you. If you satisfied, then I will ask my company to provide. Then you can come over. If you feel good, it's up to you. Shall I approach my company? I said, okay, fine, no issues. Then his company agreed. They sent me the visit visa. Then again in Bahrain, I got an interview and they selected me. So I didn't come back. So my training part left over. Then again I get into the project management job over there and working for rewarding consultants on like projects and the project from Germany. There was one project from Germany, this plastic unit. So that project finished ultimately. After the project is finished, again I lost my job. Then again I took back my family to Hyderabad. Then again I started working, hunting for the job. Then at that time Prince 2 certification was very on demand. So again, with the help of my friend Khizar Khan and with the help of my friend Idris, I got few funds and then I got certified in Prince 2. Then again, meanwhile, my friend Inayat Khan established one company over there in Saudi Arabia. Then he requested me to come and join his company so that it would be a help for both of us. I will get my job and he will get some hands. So I went over there and was working with that company, and finally, due to some issues with the government over there, so that I have to come back on the visa. Then after coming back, then I decided not to go further. So then I have decided to continue with the freelance training. So I was getting some assignments. Even I went to Hong Kong. Then again, as a freelancer, I was not getting enough assignments. Then Vincis was one of the company when I was there in Saudi Arabia who gave me the opportunity to take the PMP trainings. So I was taking over there in Jubail and Daman, Kobar, Sim, Jeddah and all few companies I took trainings. So with that experience, I started the training as a freelancer over here in Hyderabad itself. Then again, one fine day, my father-in-law suggested that the visa is available if you are interested. Then again went over there and working as a freelancer over there itself, doing trainings for Simply Learn, Knowledge Academy, Vincis as a freelancer. Then again, all this was running good. Then ultimately, I was staying with one of my close friends along with him. So ultimately, what happened is these some visa regulations has come up in Saudi Arabia that so my sponsor told that I cannot continue further with this new rules of. So ultimately, I came back. After coming back, now I decided that I will not go at all. So I have started my own setup again to help the PMP aspirants. I started the company with the name called Hans, and it was running fine, alhamdulillah. So ultimately, after a year, almost a year, this COVID came up. Then we shut down the physical operations. Now we are going to launch online trainings. This is how exactly my career story in brief.
So please tell us about your journey to PMP certification.
Yes, PMP certification, it's a very good journey. As I told, like one of my friend Idris from Saudi Arabia suggested me to go for PMP, and one interview from Ericsson asking for PMP. So after coming back from Lebanon, I joined training. I took the training from PMP from Mr. Mathur, and he suggested me to take some time. So I was working with Siemens project over there, so I couldn't have time. So ultimately I got some time. So daily evening I used to relax. There was one of my there was one IKEA chair, reclining chair in my home in Saudi Arabia. I used to relax when I come back from office. I used to sit on that chair and used to read PMBOK guide daily, few pages continuously. A month I read. I felt satisfied. Yes, very easy subject. So why not to approach the exam? So before approaching the exam, actually I took the training in 2007. Immediately after the training, many of my classmates who took the training along with me, they finished the exam one by one. Within a month, most of the students wrote the exam and passed the PMP exam. But I was stuck with application itself. At that time, the application process was very tedious. It was very tough. So ultimately, one of my classmates helped me to apply for the exam. So I applied, I got the approval. But after the approval also, like I was having less time working on Siemens project. So anyway, I took some time out and I started reading Pimbok and some other books daily evening when I came back from office. So ultimately, I scheduled the exam in Daman Center. Then one fine day, I went over there and write the exam. While writing the exam, I felt very easy exam, very easy questions. But ultimately, when I clicked the button finish, the result was failed. Then I realized that this is something we need serious study. So meanwhile, after writing the exam, I got a call from my wife asking about the result, and I said I failed. I didn't felt so hard after getting failed. Okay, lost few dollars, but my wife started crying because at the time the recession was going on. I was not out of the job. She was thinking maybe like if I pass this certificate, I may get some job. So she cried on the phone. So at that time I felt very bad. So I thought, no, at least for my wife's sake, I have to pass this exam. So I made up my mind. Now I will pass the exam. So then after that I went to Jeddah on another project. I got some assignments from Siemens again. I went to Jeddah. At that time the project was at the initial stage. I got plenty of time. So one of my friend, Mr. Azmat Khan, he was also interested in PMP. He was in Jeddah. He told let us both of us prepare. We'll prepare. Then I got some company, and we completely prepared seriously. We shut down our mobile phones. We took another. We had a setup specifically for PMP study, so like study table and all those things. So we prepared seriously, and we went for the exam. Both of us passed. So what I learned from this is like serious. If we 2 months serious study, so 2 months serious study, 30% of the knowledge and 70% of the confidence if we have, we can pass the exam. Only thing is like what I did is like before 1 week before the exam, like I was having my schedule from 1 to 5 o'clock. So at the same time, I used to sit for the mock exam for 1 week so that I can get comfortable with that time. So on the 6th day, when I am going for the final exam, I shouldn't feel like I am writing the exam. So these type of techniques I utilized, and finally I got the exam.
So what suggestions or tips would you give to PMP aspirants?
So suggestions is like I can help them to, first thing is if they are stuck up somewhere in application, so I will help them to get their application filled in, because most of the students will stuck up over there. Okay, now the process is very easy, but still few aspirants will stuck up over there. What I suggest is take time out completely, focus on PMBOK guide, completely focus on PMBOK itself, and for other like mock exams, they can give few mock exams like Rita Mulcahy simulator they can use. Just focus on PMBOK guide, and 2 months or 1 month, whatever, based on his capacity, dedicated hours of study. And also like as I said, I use the technique of 10 days before the same slot. I used to sit in my home, all mobiles closed, in a closed room, giving complete mock test of 4 hours, so that in the exam also I should feel stressed like I am writing the exam, so I will feel relaxed because I am acquainted with the timing, the slot, sitting on the table. So dedicated study and these techniques will definitely help. Mock exams are more helpful.